All right, we are Group 1, and this is the first question to our final assignment. Now, what our task is right now is we need to start a system that syringes the entire golf course for 3 minutes per head for every rotor, and once it does it the first time, it shuts off and it's gone. It doesn't repeat itself ever again. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go to the bottom of the page here. So far when we've been putting in programs, we've been using the quick IRR. For this one, we're going to actually click on simple IRR at the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new one. We'll put in 3-minute syringe. Again, whole golf course, so we'll go front 9, back 9, and we want 3 minutes on everything. So we'll go 3 minutes all across. We'll even do 3 minutes on the driving range, why not? We'll go hour, so we'll say we'll start it at 12 a.m. overnight, just so we're not syringing when there are any golfers in play. And then the kicker's right here, where it says one time only. One time only, that's what we want. We're going to click one time only, and we're going to save it. There we go. So we're just going to do a dry run quickly here. We'll click on dry run at the top, 12 a.m. We don't need to go that far, so we'll go 12 a.m. to about 5 a.m. to make sure it finishes before work is coming in the morning. So we'll just click play here. There we go. And as we can see, it finished around 2:30 in the morning. So we had about 2.5 hours to syringe the entire course for 3 minutes. We'll click on this grid just to make sure. And it looks like every head was running at 3 minutes. So success. Now obviously, since we just did a dry one, it didn't actually run the program. It's still going to be here. But once it runs for the first time, once it actually runs, it'll be gone and out of the system. So it's actually only going to do it one time.
Okay, the second question requires us to be able to turn off specific holes for the greens, tees, and approaches from our default watering schedule. So here in our programs, we have our regular schedule for greens, tees, fairways, approaches, perimeters, and rough. But in order to turn off specific holes, you'll need to go select first our greens and click up here for the schedules, and then it will have it all listed out by hole, because rather than doing front 9, back 9, we just have all 18 greens on the same schedule. And you can deselect the holes that you don't need to be watered for this program. So we know that number 3 didn't have to be, number 5 green didn't have to be, and you can go through this process for all of them. And also you can go back out and of course do the same thing for your tees, and as well for your approaches. So the third question asks about increasing fairway run times on some specific fairways by 10% based on an ET program schedule. So what an ET schedule is, if you go into your program detail here, there's a column you could check off here, which is the ET, which is evapotranspiration. And what it does is it takes into account temperatures and humidities and whatever else affects evapotranspiration, and it will adjust your program based on that rate. So what we'll do is we'll select evapotranspiration for fairways, and if you exit out of this and go into your evapotranspiration table here at the top left, it'll give you your default settings for an ET based program, and we're not going to adjust any of those. We're just going to leave that as the default. So I'll exit out, and if you go back into your program here and go to fairways, we need to go deeper into the schedule and change the percentages. They need to go up by 10%, so we will go at 110% for the given holes, which are 3, 4, 5, I believe 10, 12, and 18. So those will all run at 10% more than the default time, and they will also take into account evapotranspiration.
Okay, so now we need to find out run times for separate areas based on 0.25 inches of irrigation. So we need to figure that out for greens, tees, approaches, and roughs. So the first thing we need to do is find out depending on the spacing and the nozzles, we need to find out inches per hour. So how you do that is
Just try and do it all in one take.
So how you do that is going to System Settings, click on your tables.
You're not telling me.
Yes, I am. Oh, you ruin everything. So first we need to figure out our infiltration rates, our inches per hour. So we click on System Settings, go to our tables here, drop down and go to Preset Data Table. So we've just entered this information. So we've got our head spacing, our row spacing, flow head. This one's pretty easy to find. Just click on this guy here. It's a green 700 series, 80 orange. That's the number that comes up, and then it automatically comes up with your precipitation inches per hour. So once you know that, okay. And what you can do is you go into Monitor. If you click on ET spreadsheet right here, it has all the default times. Actually, right here we have 0.1 inches per hour. It will be 10 minutes for greens, 8 minutes for tees, etc. So what we want to do to figure out the run times for each other one, backspace, put in 0.25 inches. And here are our run times. So greens we need to run for 25 minutes each to get 0.25 inches. Tees 21, fairways 21, approaches 21, perimeters 42, and rough 42 as well. So that's how we find out how to run our run times for different precip rates. Okay, so for our final bonus question, we just need to find out how many times we could run the entire irrigation system without refilling the ponds. So to figure that out, first all I've done is I created an entire course program at 10 minutes for every head just to find out how much water we're using every single time we irrigate the entire course. So deselect everything else. We've got the entire course on. We're going to do a dry run. We'll start at 10 p.m. and we'll go to just to make sure we've got lots of time. 10 a.m. so 12 hours should be plenty. And we will go start the dry run. That's a lot of water. Perfect. So now we'll just go here. And we'll go, oh, actually it's right up here. We used 98,039 gallons to water the entire course. So for number 5, what we need to do is we need to build a separate program so that we're watering the right side of fairways that get more sun than the rest. So we're watering the right side of 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8, those fairways. Now working on this, we're going to go with the assumption that we're watering the golfer's right side of every fairway as opposed to the right side of the property or the east side. So what we're going to do to water the golfer's right on those 6 fairways, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 5 fairways, is we're going to go up here to the left corner. We're going to click on Program Builder. So once we're in Program Builder, we're going to go up to the top and click Add Program. We're going to give it a name. So we'll go right side fairways, and we're going to go to Standard Program Type. So what we're going to do, we're going to right click and go Add Schedule, Schedule Name. We'll just go again, fairways, and we're going to go by station. Click OK, and what we'll do is we'll zoom in on the area. So we want to find hole number 3. Where the heck is hole number 3? There's 2. 3 is probably close. Alright. So golfer's right of the fairway, number 3. What we're going to do is we're going to click on all the fairway heads along the golfer's right. So since the green is on the bottom, golfer's right is actually going to be our left right now, so we're going to light up. Select these fairway heads down the right side, and we're going to go to number 4. Pick the ones on the golfer's right here, and we're going to go to number 5, which goes down. Again, this one's going down, so it's going to be our left, but golfer's right. So we're going to select fairway heads along the golfer's right side of the fairway. And now number 7, which is up. There's 6. This one's going upwards, so we're going to select the heads on the right side, our right. And the last one we'll do is hole number 8. Again, it's going downward on our screen, so it's going to be our left will be golfer's right. So we'll select those heads again. Boom, 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 just like that. We won't select the approach head because that goes across the fairway to the left side as well, which could create a wall for your golfers if you're watering with golfers in play. So now that you've got those selected, that will make up your program for those fairways you want to water on the right side. So what you can do to take a look and make sure everything's there, you can exit out of this screen and you can go into your regular program detail page here, and it comes down right there, right side fairways. Go in here, fairways. If you keep going, you can see you've got your fairway stations on the right side of 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8.
Okay, so question number 6 asks us to build programs for the back 9 fairways so that they water from the green backwards to the tee, and we'll also do it in reverse order from 18 through to 10. So the fastest way to start building these programs is to go into your program builder, and we'll zoom out here. And if you click on this header up here and right click, add program, we'll call it back 9 fairways. Actually, what we're going to do is call this 17 and 18 fairway, because, and we'll make it a standard program, we're going to have to do something special with 17 and 18 that we're not going to have to do with the rest of the fairways, which is have 17 and 18 water every 3rd day instead of whatever the regular schedule will be for the other fairways. So we'll make 2 programs here. We'll call this one 10 through 16 fairways, and we'll make that a standard program as well. So we'll start with this program here for 17 and 18, and we will add a schedule, and we'll start at 18, so we'll call that 18 fairway. And we're going to do that by station. So let's just zoom in on 18 fairway. And we're going to use the select tool over here to manually select these sprinkler heads or these stations on 18. And remember, we're going from the green to the tee box. So we'll start, this is our nearest to the green fairway head, so we'll start there and work backwards. So that's 18 done, fairly simple. We'll move on to 17 now. We'll have to make another schedule for 17, called 17 fairway and by station. And we'll do the same thing, start over by the green here. Select our fairway heads working back towards the tee. So we're going to do the same thing for the fairways on 10 to 16. And then we will worry about changing 17 and 18 for their watering schedule. Okay, so we're on our last one right now, which is number 10, and just the same as the others, we're going to work back from the green towards the tee. And once those are done, we are going to exit this program building map, return to the front office, go into our program detail, And for our 17 and 18 fairway program, we're going to have to change the calendar for that over here. It's going to have to skip days, and it needs to skip 2 days, so it runs every 3 days. So we'll do that. And that 0 there means that it's starting tonight rather than starting tomorrow. And then we don't need to adjust anything with the 10 to 16 fairways. But what we'll do now is we'll do a dry run of these two programs. Okay, so for the dry run, we will start the 17 and 18 program at 10 p.m. And we'll give it a little bit of time before we start the 10 through 16 program, and we'll wait until say 11 p.m. for that to start. So we need to deselect all of these so they're not running with our dry run. And then we can exit out of here, go into our dry run. Doesn't matter what day. We'll start it at 9 p.m. And it can finish at 12 p.m. So if we try it out now, so we'll click on Start Dry Run, and we'll see what happens here. Okay, so it looks like it finished well in advance of 12 p.m. So if we look at the log here, it did 17 to 18 first, 10 to 16, but it did it in reverse order because of the way that we built the program. So it went 18, 17, 16 through 10, and it was able to finish well within that time.
Okay, so now we need to use the freedom command to turn on the irrigation heads on 17 green for 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to page 2, and your freedom icon is right there. So what we need to do is we need to put in a series of pound signs and numbers to get the correct command up. Now to learn how to do that, to know what order to do, you can click on your designer notes here, and you can go down to freedom commands, and it kind of gives a quick little rundown of how to turn your stuff on. So you got pound, pound command, pound hole, pound area, pound stations, pound time, pound pound. So what we'll do is, following that pattern, we'll go in here, and we will click the start pound pound. It should come up. There we go. And we start with hole number. We start with the number 1 to say that we want to turn stations on. It'll come up there. Pound hole number, which is 17 we want, and hole 17. And we'll go pound 1 because greens is the area code of 1. And we'll go pound again. And we want to turn on the whole green, so we don't actually have to specify a range of stations. So we'll just put in our time, 5, and then finish it with pound, pound. And then as you can see, it's all filled in. Turn stations on, hole 17, greens, stations all, because we didn't specify a group, a range, and 5 minutes. And that's how you use the freedom tool to turn on sprinkler heads. So as you can see, after I entered that code into the freedom thing, we go to our map, and it actually shows the sprinkler heads are activated. They're going. Obviously, you can only do 2 stations at a time because of the gallons per minute. But after those 2 are done, it'll keep going around the green, and every head will have ran for 5 minutes. So now we'll show you how to activate some smart alarms to deal with certain weather conditions. So the first condition we need to deal with is we need to pause the irrigation on number 5 green if wind speeds exceed 10 miles an hour. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this happy little fellow over here, weather data. We're going to click on smart weather, and we're going to add a rule. So go name ID, we'll go high wind, comment over 10 miles per hour, do what? What do we want it to do? We want it to interrupt the system. And to what? We'll go to Program, we'll go to Greens, and we'll select number 5, green. Click OK, and that should pause the irrigation system when winds are over 10 miles an hour on number 5, green. So for our second smart weather alert, we need to shut down the entire system when rainfall is greater than ½ inch. So what we'll do, we'll just add another rule here, and we'll go rainfall. We'll say greater than ½ inch. Do what? System off. And now we'll just make sure that our entire map is in here and click OK, just because we don't need to specify a certain area. It should shut down the entire system. And the third one we need to do is we need to pause the system if the rainfall intensity is above 3 inches per hour. So again, we'll click here and we'll go rainfall intensity. We'll go above 3 inches per hour. That doesn't say hour. That says hour. And we'll go system interrupt. Again, we're not specifying any area, so as long as our Ian Morrow entire map is selected, it should interrupt the entire system and pause it while that rainfall intensity is above 3 inches per hour. And that is how you set your smart weather alerts. Alright, so what we need to do now is find out how much sand we need if we were to fill every bunker on our course with 8 inches of sand, 8 inches in depth all the way around. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on our little tool thing up here, click on Map Utilities. We'll select bunker, we'll right click, select all, and it's going to give us our total square feet. So that's the area in square feet of our entire bunkers. So what we need to do is we need to multiply by 8 inches to get a volume. So what we're going to do is we're going to find those inches in feet, which is 8 inches is actually 0.6 repeating of a foot. So we'll take that and multiply it by our square feet area. That will give us our square feet cubed of sand that we need. So we'll go 16,936 times 0.666666666 equals 11,290.6666666 cubic feet of sand. So what we want to do now is find the area of the two most southeasternly ponds on the course and find the volume of water, knowing that the ponds have 20 feet of water in depth, the entire pond. So what we'll do is click on our map utilities again, click on pond, select area this time instead of select all because we want to pick these two ponds. The first one, 11,852 square feet, and if we multiply that by 20 feet of depth, we get 237,040 cubic feet. And then we'll go to this one, which is 11,766. Multiply that by 20 as well to get our cubic feet, and that's 235,320. So if we add the first one, 237,40, in total that's 472,360 cubic feet of water in those two most southeasterly ponds. Who'd have thunk it?